What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the latest episode of Games Up Podcast. We are still here covering E3 as it happens, every conference with reactions in a reveal-by-reveal basis. I keep forgetting chronological. In a reveal-by-reveal chronological basis. Sorry for that slight muck-up there. And we are here reacting to Ubisoft. Now we're fucking talking.
Yeah.
This is E3. Thank you very much. Let's start it off in absolute, perfect, classic E3 fashion with the first reveal, which was Switch Rabbids.
The cringe just came a-rolling.
Oh my god. It was... to be fair, now you've got to give it to them. They got this out the way, right out the front, like out the door. It was done and dealt with, but my god, did it go on. So we got the trailer for Mario Cross Rabbids Kingdom Battle... kind of XCOM, kind of cover shooter, sort of Mario 3D, but none of these things particularly. The thing that they kept talking about was how we've always wondered what would happen if Mario crossed with them, and like, have we really? Like, have we? We wanted a 3D. People wanted a 3D Mario game for a very long time, and I'm glad that they're getting it in some form. But let's not call this what it isn't. This is an excuse to catch in on the popularity of the Rabbids in mainland Europe.
Yeah. So the game looked a lot like XCOM. It looked a lot like, turn-based strategy games. And I don't know if it maybe had like a... It kind of like the way it's set up would look like it was mostly focused on doing one battle and then another battle and another battle. But
yeah,
for what it is, I think potentially people would play this. I mean, it's kind of like you've taken a hardcore game like XCOM and made it a cute game.
Oh, I can definitely see people playing it, and like, don't get me wrong, the gameplay itself looked pretty good. Like, it looked fun enough. I don't see any reason why people wouldn't play it. I just like. It's the kind of... It was the way it was sold. This kind of... This is the natural next step for Mario. When actually, I think Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are the natural next steps. I think Nintendo is actually handling the Mario franchise really well at this moment. And so it would have been nice just to have them sort of talk about it with a more playful kind of, hey, this is a bit silly and kooky, but hey, it might be a good game, rather than like... with the kind of fake seriousness that everything gets sold with at E3, you know? Like,
yeah,
everything is revolutionary, everything is innovative, and it would actually have been nice to hear Ubisoft talk about this with just a kind of, this is kind of different.
Yeah, true.
Nonetheless, though, speaking from that, the quality of the game actually looks quite good. Like, it looks like a good, fun 3D Mario game. It's kind of cool to see Mario do a turn-based battle system like this. I'm not a particular fan of Mario, not a particular fan of turn-based... Well, I guess I'm alright with turn-based games, but, like, nothing here is particularly going to make me pick the game up, but if ever I were to pick up a Rabbids game, it would probably be this one. Yeah,
I think it will have there will be people that are very... Maybe not very excited for the game, but people will be excited for it, I think.
On my official notes, it says... above this on my official notes I put, so this is just E3 this year, right? Like,
yeah, we were worried.
This conference really started off slow. They talked about this Rabbids game for a good 10 minutes, and they brought Shigeru Miyamoto on stage, which was really cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, really cool, but this was by far the slowest part of this conference.
Well, I don't know. There were a couple of slow moments, but like, they brought Shigeru Miyamoto on stage, which is awesome because it's so cool to see this iconic person from the video game industry collaborating with another. It's nice to see, like, rather than stupid Rabbid fanboyism, these companies sort of extending a hand to each other. But it was kind of janky, as it always is when you bring a translator on stage. And like, there were 3D props that just didn't need to be there. And it was like I was saying, it was selling this game with a kind of fake level of importance that it really didn't need. But nonetheless, the gameplay looks far cooler than it really has any right to be. So, not bad, not great, really slow start. Then we got into Assassin's Creed Origins, which had a far better trailer. Now, you said that this trailer made you want to play the game more.
Yeah, so the thing that this trailer did was kind of lay like the story quite heavily on. Well, showing that we at least have like the deep characters, the cool story. That was what it was kind of trying to look at. as well as kind of showing like the tone that the game was going to take, the feel for the game. It looks pretty certain that they're going for something a little bit more. Well, I mean, more open world, but obviously I know it was open world already. But it feels like
I know what you mean. It's like more Far Cry-y, more environmenty, more. It's more like player-driven story stuff rather than like maybe hardcore story stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a really interesting point. Is we've now seen 2 trailers and demos of this game, and we've not really seen what the driving force is, other than like you are the assassins and doing assassiny things. But nonetheless, you said it had a really cool trailer. I actually preferred the demo we saw the other day. That made me want to play an Assassin's Creed game more, but I appreciate that this was a better reveal trailer. It certainly made it look more different, and it made that gap off feel much more relevant to the franchise. Then they did some cool stuff with The Crew 2. The trailer was a bit odd. It was like The Crew, hey look, somebody just watched Inception last night. But actually, it made a lot of sense, and with the scale and the map that they do for The Crew, it makes sense to tie massive locations into each other like that. The big reveal for The Crew 2 was that it's... Crew 2 is a hard name to say in rapid succession. Is that it's not just cars and bikes this time, it's cars and bikes and boats and planes. I don't know... See, my question here is, so I played The Crew for a few hours... and I got to a point where I completed some challenges. I started to unlock cars and unlock some upgrades and stuff. And at that point, I got to the part where I was like, I'm not feeling the story. I'm not feeling the whole become a real cool racer dude story. But at the same time, I'm not feeling driven to keep customizing stuff. So I kind of fell out of the game at that point. Now, these games aren't really made for me. I'm not a driving game person. But I imagine for somebody who is a driving game person that the introduction of these other methods of transport might actually be to the detriment of the car gameplay. Like, it doesn't have that really heavy car focus that Forza has, that Drive Club, if it comes back, will have, or the very famous Sony racing franchise that is now escaping my mind. The one that's coming out later this year with the subtitle of Sport, and I just cannot remember what it's called. That's awful. Sorry. But like I wonder if it will feel like it lacks that focus because it's making room for planes and boats.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, GTA does this and it does it well.
Yeah, that's very true. And I guess also like The Crew was always a slightly more casual, friend-based gaming thing than like competitive, hardcore racing thing. I don't know. Maybe this is playing into what their audience wanted, and it looked cool.
Yeah, I think it for me it went on a little bit too long. But
yeah, I'd agree there.
But yeah, it looked cool.
The highlight of this whole The Crew 2 reveal, though, was, look, Microsoft, somebody managed to reveal a fucking car game without bringing a Porsche on stage.
Yeah.
Maybe take some notes from that going forward. Sorry, still a little bitter on that. So then we got on to a trailer for South Park, which was great. It was just a 1.5-minute trailer, nice and short, nice and concise. I'm the most likely to ever play that game that I'm ever going to be. It looks really fun, really great systems. The comedy and the writing is absolutely brilliant. Totally in for the Fractured Butthole. Probably still the best title they've ever had.
Yeah. So I played the first one, and I think the first one was a good game, but it tried to be the only South Park game. I think the nice thing about this one is there's going to be probably a lot more focus on building a really good story, and like the other game is good, don't get me wrong, it's pumped full of every South Park reference in the entire series of South Park, and I think they're going to do it still, but not to that level. No, I can definitely see what you're going for there, that they really have a kind of a wider gamut of what they can do here, and so the humour can be a bit not that the humour can be not that the humour can be more focused, but like the game as a whole can be a little bit better. Yeah.
Whereas the first game was really nailing the South Park tone, and they've shown that they can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Then we got into a really awesome trailer, which was a Ubisoft VR game. So it featured Frodo. I can never remember his name.
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood, that's him. One of my neighbours dated him for about 1.5 years, so I should know that. But I just know him as Frodo. It featured him and a number of actors and actresses talking about how they have used VR research to unlock traumatizing moments and replay them in VR, and like it's kind of a weird trailer to describe, but the tone of it was absolutely dead on.
Yeah, so it's clear that we're going for some sort of horror theme, but in a way, like, they never directly say that it's a horror theme. It's kind of like it's very clearly there, but the whole point of it and the whole way that they presented it was like, you know, whatever happens, it's all fine. It's all fine. You're like,
if Black Mirror were ever to make a VR game,
this is
I
exactly
imagine it would look exactly like this. And my favourite line of the trailer was, like, the last line is a kind of recorded on-screen video of a guy saying, no matter what happens, you're watching a recording, nothing can hurt you.
Yeah.
And then the falter in his voice, and it was, nothing can hurt you. It was so... Like, So I'm not good with horror games. I've made that very, very clear. There is no way I'm playing any kind of horror game, likely. But I cannot wait to find out more about this game. Find out what's in it, what's involved, what the story is, and why I wouldn't play it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like, I think, like, me personally, I'll probably watch it. I'll watch someone else play it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think for them, like, it's still good. It still drives their brand.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Then we got another reveal, which was the long-rumoured pirate game. Now, we're split on this.
Yeah.
The pirate game is called Skull and Bones, even. We've heard about it for a long while. We've heard that Ubisoft was building a pirate game of some form that was kind of separate to the Assassin's Creed franchise, that is not linked in any way and is very much more focused on pirate and piratical themes than, like, being a pirate assassin, if that makes sense. Then we got the gameplay trailer. Lewis, tell me your thoughts.
So it looks like they've kind of spent time developing the, the ship combat used in Assassin's Creed 4. Mm-hmm. It's much like what we saw was a PvP battle, but they also seem to suggest that that's not the entire game, and then there is more going on here. I like the look of it. I mean, I wasn't actually a big fan of the pirate combat previously.
Really?
Yeah, like
really? That's fascinating.
Yeah, but like I know loads of people really like that was for many people that was like the best Assassin's Creed game they played because of just because of the naval combat stuff.
Fools.
And for
Sorry,
them,
I don't like Black Flag. We'll get into that in a second.
For them, like, this is going to be a really big game.
Yeah. For that audience, I can totally see why this makes a lot of sense. For me, the rumours that we'd heard about this game for a while is that this is a different kind of Pirates game, and frankly, from what we saw, it's not. It's a carbon copy of the system from Assassin's Creed 4, just without assassins, or without the progression of assassins. Like, the problem we've had with Sea of Thieves for a while, ever since its reveal last year, is, yeah, it's cool to be a pirate, but why do I want to be a pirate? And here they didn't show me anything more. Here they showed me exactly the same problem I had with Sea of Thieves, which is like, you can do cool pirate stuff and loot cool pirate treasure, but why do I want to?
I think we're going to get more of this that's going to kind of nail that a bit down. I don't think we're going to get enough from Sea of Thieves to get the same thing. Because I think, like, it's the difference between, say, I've said Sea of Thieves seems a bit indie-ish. It seems a bit like they don't quite know what they want themselves. Behind closed doors, Ubisoft are going to know what they want with this.
I can totally understand what you mean. I think that this is actually going to suffer from being too Ubisoft, by which I mean this is the division at sea. The Division, you might say.
Yeah.
This is the Division at sea, right? It's you and your friends get together and you get on a bunch of ships and you move up the leaderboard of ships.
Yeah,
but like
I want to see if this has we don't know if we're tied to the ships. We don't know if we're just the ship.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that'll make a big difference. So you have to look at this, right? Everybody now is going to be comparing to Sea of Thieves. It's the ultimate thing to compare it to. Yeah. This is going to be Battleborn versus Overwatch. It's going to be one of these games. One of these two games is going to do amazingly, and the other one's going to flop.
I will put a prediction that Sea of Thieves will do better.
I completely doubt it.
Now, and there's a reason that I'm saying this for two reasons. There's a couple of reasons, actually. So whenever journalists that I follow have played Sea of Thieves, they've said that it's charming and that playing the game is just as charming as watching it. Right, you've got to give them that trailer, though it didn't show a great deal, It didn't make a great deal of sense. I don't know why I should want to play this game. I can recognise that there was a lot of charm put into it, and that the world they're building is quite interesting. This looked like Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just look like Assassin's Creed 4 because there's pirates. This, like, if you had replaced those flags with generic white flags, I would have said, oh, we're watching an Assassin's Creed 4 demo. Like, there's no reason, in my opinion, that you... Like, if you really, really like the ship combat of Assassin's Creed 4, then that's fine. You probably really like this game, but the chances are you already own Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean, a lot of people want to see more, so...
Yeah, and that's true. And I can... personally, I think I really dislike what we saw here because it looked so shameless. Like, we've heard for so long that this game is in development, and, like, it's been 4-5 years since Assassin's Creed 4, and the systems look exactly the same. Like, we're watching it in front of us right now as we're recording this, and it seems like a carbon copy. The way you handle the weapon seems exactly the same. The way you fire the weapon seems exactly the same. You pirate the ships exactly the same. You all sing bloody sea shanties. Like, what have they done in 4 years other than put this online to make it worth you buying?
Yeah.
And I can't see it. Like, they did a whole final reveal trailer where there's like, oh, if you do shit, the world does shit back, and there might be a Kraken in it. It's like, great. Okay, so you spent 4 years making a Kraken. Thanks. Like, really. Also, quick aside, so I'm really ranting on this, aren't I?
Yes.
We had an argument about this very briefly during the show. Like, don't show that shit. Let people find it out. If people are going to buy this game, they'll buy it for the pirate stuff. Let that become the kind of thing that inspires the community. Don't be like, hey, community, you should be looking for this day one. Yeah,
but you don't know what the tone of the game is actually going to be. Like, you know, that could be actually quite a big side of it.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think I just do it, like, from a marketing sense, it makes sense to kind of point out that there is more depth to this game than just drive your pirate boat and shoot other pirates. Like,
no, that's totally fair. And I'm not, I understand that every marketing exec is like, guys, you should show the Kraken, right? But like,
yeah, I get that. But
whenever a good movie comes out and everyone's like, wow, they showed the twist in the trailers, I really worry that this is them showing the twist in the trailers.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. But then, like, you know, maybe they agree with you. Maybe they think that they haven't got enough to push the game on its own.
Maybe.
I think, like, we'll be getting something from it soon. Maybe not soon. But I think we'll be seeing something at some point that kind of pushes maybe the more single-player side. Because the initial trailer gave it some sort of single-player element, I think.
Really? See, I didn't pick up on that at all.
I reckon we're going to get something. At least single-player in the kind of Division way, not like because the whole thing of Division, you know, you've got like multiplayer but localized sections, so it's still kind of, you can still do those bits in single player. It's not necessarily tied to multiplayer unless you go into certain areas. I reckon that might be what we'll see here, especially because, like, this was set up as like a PvP match. I reckon this is a separate mode to the main game.
Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't get that in the slightest. I got that this was very Division-y, and this was, there is an online world and you play in it with friends.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, that's Skull and Bones. If you like Assassin's Creed 4, you'll probably like this. If you really want a Pirates game, you'll have to choose between this and Sea of Thieves. I guess this has the advantage that it's on PS4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's
yeah,
Sea
true.
of Thieves.
That could be, like, I think that could be something that also swings it maybe against Sea of Thieves, but we'll see.
Then we had a musical interlude brought to you by Who the Fuck Was That? Because Just Dance came on. And so there was somebody in Ubisoft who bought a panda costume like years ago, and then they were like, well, fuck, I've written this off against taxes, so I've really got to find a way of just getting it in every E3 show. So they came on, they did some dancing. Just Dance is out this year.
Yeah, one of the things that I think, like, although this doesn't really appeal to anyone as far as I'm aware, like the song and dance side of it. The good thing that they did do here is that it was over pretty quickly, and they didn't spend another 5 minutes talking about Just Dance.
That is very true. I'm surprised this is still coming out on the Wii, especially with the momentum of the Switch. I would imagine this would be their way of going from Wii to the next thing, but I guess with so many Wiis out there, you can't ignore them. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It was over quickly, and that was nice. It's something they have to speak to every year. Like, there's no way we don't get the announcement of another Just Dance game. So, yeah, I guess it's good that this was painless. It was just one of those kind of slower, cringy moments that we really don't need anymore. Like, a trailer for this game and a very quick gameplay demo would have been fine. The whole panda costume and dancing lights and somebody doing a musical performance, it doesn't sell it any better, I think.
Yeah.
But then I'm an old cynical bastard, apparently. Then we got the South... So this was really weird. Then we got the South Park mobile game.
Yeah.
Which is called South Park Phone Destroyer. It looks kind of like a South Park... I guess South Park turn-based sort
card
of
game.
card game, but
Yeah.
not really. Like, it's not card game in a Hearthstone sense, but you battle with cards.
Yeah, it seemed that way. I think it will probably do fairly well. Like, I think, you know, South Park sells on its humour, so if they can get quite into the market of people that watch South Park, even though I know it's not a massive thing, then it'll do well.
I agree with you. I think you know, as much as I'm going to sound really cynical on this, I'm quite interested to play it. But I think it's kind of disingenuous that a year or two ago, Matt and Trey were like, yeah, we're kind of done with South Park games. We're not really going to make more unless they need to. And now they have, like, Stick of Truth Expanded Edition and the Fractured Butthole and now this. It's like... Was that genuine when they said it, or have they just, like, maybe this is a perfect use of the license and maybe I'm being too cynical about it, but I don't want them to make a South Park game every year.
Yeah.
Make the ones
well,
that
I
can.
mean, you can't say that they've done that so far.
3 years, 3 games.
Yeah.
Stick of Truth 2 years ago. Fractured Butthole, this, 3 years.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
it's not like
I don't think
every
this one
year.
counts, like, in the same kind of way.
Well, I know what you mean, but it's just... I don't know, like, maybe it was just weird to see it on an E3 stage because it's still a mobile game, but... I don't know.
But I mean, if you use that kind of angle, then you can go, like, there's 20 Assassin's Creed games, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't feel right about this one. I'm sure, you know, maybe it's great, and I'll give it a try when it comes out, and I really want to see how the humour fits into it, but I don't know. It feels like the license might be being spread a little thin.
Yeah, maybe, but, like, I don't know, because I think, like, the thing with the license is that if it doesn't have a focus, it won't do well. So, like
Yeah, okay,
you know,
that's fair
South
enough.
Park on its own lives and dies by its jokes and its little bit of immaturity and its, you know, like, so, and, you know, it needs the writing to do that. I don't think they can really half-ass a game too much.
No, that's totally fair. And yeah, okay, you're right. If they didn't have a license on this, it would have far less of a selling point. That is a really, really fair comment. I don't know. I guess we'll give it a go and see how we feel about it. The next thing revealed was Ubisoft's Starlink, which was... So this was the game that was teased fairly heavily in Watch Dogs 2. People were saying they were, like, leaking footage from this. And when we saw it in Watch Dogs 2, it looked very No Man's Sky. And when we saw it revealed, it looked very No Man's Sky. Then they did your favourite part of the conference, Lewis.
Yeah.
Then they
Sorry,
made it
go
a
on.
Toys to Life game.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, like, they showed it working on the Switch, which was awesome, and I thought, oh, that's cool. That's really good support for the Switch here. And then they kind of built a spaceship on the Switch and were like, here's the game.
Yeah. So it looks very much like we should be expecting to go to the shop and buy little toy guns and little bits of spaceship to put together. And that's like, it's one of these things, because I mean, like, for you and me, definite turn off, and yet, you know, these games have done really well.
See, I don't... It's weird to see Ubisoft try and get into the Toys to Life thing on its deathbed. Like, Toys to Life is not working. Skylanders is dead, or at least it's as dead as it's ever going to be. Lego Dimensions is kind of on the way out. Disney Infinity is already gone. Like, maybe there's room for a new Ubisoft IP. Maybe this is the time that they actually launch something new and revitalise that market. But it's kind of weird to see that. And this isn't like a small Toys to Life game either. This is like building a fairly sizable toy on your controller, which firstly is going to really get in the way of controlling it, I feel like. But like, it felt like this announcement should have been there a year and a bit ago.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know. It was very weird.
Well,
like,
plus, I mean, it's coming out fall 2018.
Right, yeah, there's another year before this actually makes it out. I don't know, this was weird. The gameplay looked fine, but it didn't give me much of a reason to want to play it more than No Man's Sky did. Like, it looked very, very No Man's Sky-ish. There is a ship in orbit, and then you drop onto a planet, and then it goes into orbit again, and there was a bit of talking in between. But the real selling point of this was clearly you build a ship in real life, so it's very clearly selling on the Toys to Life USP. And I just wonder whether it's a little too late for that for Ubisoft. I wonder whether maybe the novelty of that's gone. Because the thing is, by the time of fall 2018, people will have had their LEGO Dimension collection, they will have had their Disney Infinity collection, or their Skylanders collection, or maybe even one of both. How much room is there in these? Like, it's exactly the same as the music game fad that we saw years ago, where people just didn't buy more plastic guitars, people didn't buy more plastic DJ things, and the more people tried to reinvent it, the further they actually pushed that saturation point.
Yeah, true. And I think that's probably maybe a serious worry for this.
We'll see. But then again, maybe it comes out and it's absolutely what people have been asking for, a deeper Toys to Life game, and people find real
and
USP
in fairness,
in it.
this is, a new console, and it doesn't actually have the push already for it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to call on that one. Like, I could see why it would be successful, but I could also see a lot more heavily why it wouldn't. Then we got onto Steep, so actually this was one of my favourite announcements of the conference, and it's going to sound weird, but Steep announced that they were having a Winter Olympics expansion. I know you're making that face at me, but bear with me 2 seconds, I will explain. Steep announced that they were doing a Winter Olympics expansion later this year, which is the athletes from the Winter Olympics. You will play as them in like the journey to the Winter Olympics, so them doing their training and their warm-up stuff. This is awesome, because Steep, as far as I'm aware, has not sold well. Yeah. Certainly, it's not sold as well as SSX, its biggest competitor, and it hasn't sold well enough to kind of revitalise that extreme sports game thing. But this is a big expansion for it. This is Ubisoft putting their cash down on the table and saying, alright, it didn't quite work the first time, but we're going to support this, and we're going to keep it going. We're going to listen to your feedback, but we're also going to make sure that we're willing to put more behind it. This is them investing in Steep, and I really like that. I'm glad that Steep didn't have to sell well for Ubisoft to keep giving it support. That's a good, strong thing for them.
Yeah, but I probably don't agree. I think it's not going to save it. So I mean,
probably not. But it might make Steep 2 more attractive.
Yeah.
Or all right, maybe it doesn't sell it, but like, it might. I mean, push it further from death, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, like if it doesn't sell, then we won't get a Steep 2.
Yeah, maybe that's fair.
Then again, actually, in fairness, Ubisoft do still make sequels on stuff that doesn't sell well. So
yeah, I've got to really give them. This was a conference of them taking risks.
Yeah,
some of them I don't feel will pay off, but I am glad they're taking them. Then we got Far Cry gameplay, which I don't know about you. I felt it fell a little short.
I think one of the things with this gameplay is that they, they showed off other characters and like other people fighting and helping you fight. And what I wanted to see more of was, say, me fighting. I want to see like my character running around and shooting everyone's heads off and.
Yeah, a lot of what Ubisoft has shown this conference was open. What's the word? Open multiplayer worlds. Like, there is a game and a story, and you play it with friends, and that's cool. And I'm sure you'll be able to play it single player, but I'd like some confirmation, right? Like,
yeah,
I just want to know that I can play Far Cry 5 like I played Far Cry 3. If that's fine, that's cool. You've basically got my money at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I would be surprised if they did that with Far Cry 5. I do think that they've done it. The Skull and Bones game is probably like that. I do think that we've had quite a few games at this E3 that are probably a bit like that.
Yep.
It's not unique to Ubisoft. potentially kind of Division-y kind of style gameplay.
And I will say the even more worrying one that they talked about this with was the big final thing, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I think to some extent one of the reasons this fell down a little bit is because the tone setting trailer for Far Cry 5 was so fucking good. Like, it was so on point, it was so different, it was so new. And so when the gameplay came out and it was like, yep, this is a shooting game, it's like, okay, I forgot that that's what Far Cry 5 is. And I can't wait till I get to play it, but watching that tone setting trailer and now watching the gameplay, maybe it set it up too well. Was
Far Cry 5 leaked, or was it meant to be released in the way it was?
No, Far Cry 5...
Because I feel like...
It leaked a week beforehand with the announcement of the live-action trailer. People found out that there was a live-action trailer being shot in Montana.
People knew kind of where it was before it came out.
Yeah.
They should have waited. Like, I think they should have waited and done it here.
Really? Oh, shit. Yeah, actually... See...
Well, I mean, like you know, you're going. It's not as good as the gameplay that we showed beforehand, or the tone setting stuff. Now, in my mind, E3 is all about tone setting.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like, the thing that you bring to E3 is your tone setting. Look how cool this game. This game's going to be like Far Cry 3, the bit that's everyone liked, putting it in a different world, putting it in something else.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Like, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know how they would have kept the reveal to this late, but if they had nailed it, yeah, that would have landed really well.
I think I would have liked to see something like, the gameplay again, like something a bit more kind of like maybe an extended bit where they kind of go through the stealth, go through the action, go through the, the shooting of it, like. It maybe just didn't show enough of that for me.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, at this point, Far Cry 5 has my money. Like,
yeah, it's going to be really good.
I cannot wait to play this game. I cannot wait to see how it interacts, what the world's like, all that jazz. So, I mean, there's very little they could have done to not impress me here.
I think that they probably wanted this to be at E3, like revealed at E3. Maybe you can see if you agree with me. This didn't look like a gameplay trailer that they had prepared for long.
No, I totally disagree with that. I think this was the gameplay trailer.
Really?
Yeah, like the way it showed off all the different variety of things, the different characters.
Yes, but I mean, it didn't show it off in a way that made me go, "Oh my god, I want this game."
But how can they? Like
very easily. Look at I can show you some Far Cry 3 footage from YouTube that would make you want to buy the game.
Yes,
again.
but you've played Far Cry 3, so this is the difference. They're not revealing a revolutionary Far Cry game. They're revealing a revolutionary Far Cry setting. Like, the gameplay is probably very, very similar to Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5. And the thing is that, like, Far Cry 4, Far Cry 3, sorry. And the thing is, if they just show you, hey, there's some animals that you kill to get wallets and you shoot people, it doesn't look different enough. Like, if you go on the strength of that, it doesn't look different enough. The reveal and the trailer and the tone setting is what has set Far Cry alight this time.
Yeah, but I mean, like... This game, yeah, but sure. But then this gameplay, like, in fairness, we got the little bit of the bit in the church at the start singing.
Oh, that was such a good trailer.
That was really good, and that kind of pushed that angle that you're looking for. I think the gameplay, if this is a trailer that sells it on the gameplay, it didn't do enough on the gameplay to make it.
I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean, but those tone setting pieces have done more than enough, in my opinion. Then we got the big one last thing, and fuck me, was it a big one last thing?
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 lives.
Yeah.
Also, fucking prediction points there. Thank you very much. I think I called that it was out 2017 though, so maybe half a point. But yeah, Beyond Good and Evil lives. We saw an amazing trailer for it.
Yeah,
legitimately
gorgeous,
fucking amazing CG trailer. Now I will say this, right? Ubisoft need to stop with the whole swearing thing. I don't mind it usually, but it's so... Like, there was more... The word fuck was used more than any other word in this trailer, and it didn't... like, there was legitimately about a space of 20 seconds where they were like, fuck you guys, fuck this thing, what the fuck is that, fuck me. Like, really? This is a goddamn talking monkey. Can he say nothing more than swear words?
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think the reason that they've done that is that they really want to stress that this game is not, it's a grown-up version of the other game.
Right. And I got that.
And I guess it's over the top, but this does, showing off that the setting's very different.
And I got that, but I kind of wish that they were setting it apart more tonally than just swearing.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of violence in the trailer, and actually there were some, surprisingly outdated-looking sexual references. Like, we probably don't need boob physics in a game anymore, but I will say, actually, if the game is as progressive as Beyond Good and Evil 1 was, then actually you might be able to have a really progressive game that presents sex in games in a different way, maybe.
Yeah,
If they're going for an adult thing like that. But I would have liked to see more tone setting in like an actual adult sense rather than just fuck this, fuck that, fuck whatever.
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, like, GTA does it.
Yeah, but GTA isn't afraid of showing stuff.
Yeah, I
like, to
suppose
be
that's
blunt,
true.
GTA has a full strip club.
We
GTA
don't know
has
that.
dongs out. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, like, with what they've showed us, that's not necessarily completely out of the possibility.
absolutely. That is absolutely true. But we also didn't see this stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
Nonetheless, holy shit, Beyond Good and Evil is real. The game, there was no gameplay, sorry. The trailer was CG, and it looked amazing. Like,
Yeah.
It looked so uniquely sci-fi. It looked the kind of Eastern influences into the sci-fi city. It was, you could tell there's a lot of like Star Wars stuff that's going on in there. The different locations they showed, the kind of Mad Max style desert. My God,
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this game.
It definitely sold the the environment and the
Multicultural.
See, this is the we can argue a little bit about the swearing, but I mean, this is what I kind of like in a trailer for E3. You know, this is something that makes me excited to play the game or to see more of the game. You know, because like hype struggle. Like a lot of games, when you already know what the gameplay is, the hype can either go one of two ways.
Yeah.
But like this is just when you show just this, the only response is hype.
Yeah,
know?
no, I totally get that. It looked phenomenal. It looked absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see about it. One quick worry. Two quick worries, in fact. This was another one that had the seamless online world mentioned, and I really don't want that.
Yeah, I agree.
This looks so ripe for an absolutely revolutionary single player. Like, if anything is going to be like the single player that defines... Because Beyond Good and Evil was a really, really massive game that defined a lot of people's gaming experiences. And if they were going to do that again, I really feel like this is going to be a single-player thing, so it's a lot more personal. Like, you just don't get that same connection with the story in online worlds.
I completely agree. And I don't know. I reckon that the backlash from that thing is going to be quite strong. And considering how long this has been in production, that the backlash might be enough to make them actually change what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is close. I think this is one of those things like, the Final Fantasy remake reveal where this is essentially like it's something that's it's something that's planned. It's something that they want to do in like 3-4 years. But they are testing the waters.
Oh, that's got me really... So the other worry about this game was that there was no release date mentioned. It was just, we're doing it. And the reason I have a particular problem with this is because they've been saying we're doing it for a long while.
Yeah, of course.
So a CG trailer is good, but it doesn't really promise the game is coming. Like, it's more than a Kickstarter, I guess, looking at you, Shenmue. But, like, this could still not come out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or not come out at all. Like, we've seen Prey 2 have a CG trailer and then just disappear off the face of the earth. And the real worry I have for this is that when we were watching it, I looked at you and said, this is 2017. There's no way that this game is this tonally on and not ready to go. And then they didn't mention it, and I thought, oh.
Yeah, I think...
maybe we're actually a longer way off than we think.
Yeah, I think that's probably quite a fair possibility. But, I don't know, like, the thing is that that's not necessarily terrible. I mean, if it means that at the end of the day we get a good game, and hopefully maybe they do hear this comment about the multiplayer, because I don't think it's something that is wanted overly.
Yeah.
Depending, but I think like their big focus should be on this single player stuff. And We'll see. I mean, I'm excited that it's actually being done, though.
Yeah, true. And
not only that. I think this trailer did enough that people who have never even heard of the series are going to be like, "This looks amazing."
quick bit, I've never played Beyond Good and Evil. I have no idea why people like it. I respect that it's a well-respected game, but I have no connection to what makes it that respected. I cannot fucking wait for whatever Beyond Good and Evil 2 is. That, if it's anything like that trailer, it looks so unique, it looks so different, and it looks so clever that I am absolutely sold on this.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I guess the interesting thing is, I feel like Beyond Good and Evil was an Xbox exclusive. Is that right? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
When do you think we'll see this?
We won't see it until next E3. Or like, yeah, I don't think we'll see it until next E3. I really don't.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I think next E3 is when we... maybe not. I wonder if this gets a release date at the Game Awards.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so they announced like a beta kind of thing. They announced on stage that you could sign up for the Space Monkey program, which is somehow related to the game. There's like a monkey in the game. He's one of the main characters, and he clearly goes into space. So, like, they announced that that's a big thing. So I wonder whether actually that's one of the final stages of it. Be weird to sign people up for a beta if there wasn't a good chunk of the game built. Like, you have to have at least some of the content there to build the game, and it feels like a long way away for next year to date the game.
Yeah.
Especially with the kind of post-Fallout 4 model world that we're living in now.
Yeah, true. And so it's not an exclusive, I was wrong to say that. I mean, it wasn't an exclusive. But yeah, it looks really good. I mean, if this actually happens, it's big, and I think this is them doing what Sony have done. It's announcing something that's going to have enough of a pull to keep people interested, you know?
Yeah. So, closing thoughts.
So, I guess, just talking about the style of games, I think we've seen a lot of this Division kind of style game throughout E3. This isn't kind of unique to Ubisoft. Off the top of my head, I struggle to kind of think about it, but I'm fairly sure we've been kind of going, that's kind of got like a multiplayer world.
No, we definitely, like, Anthem is a really good example of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Anthem's the only example I can think of.
Anthem, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I mean, like...
We assume Crackdown, it really looked like that, but we didn't see a lot of it.
Like, the big worry for me is the thing that I love about video games is mostly single-player story experiences.
Yeah.
That's, like, this is what I'm hoping Sony are going to deliver, but... that's what Sony have been doing really well recently, is the single-player story experiences, the big blockbusters, the Uncharted's, I don't want to just name Naughty Dog games, but,
No, but, like, you're right, the Horizons, the Infamouses...
Now, yeah, and while...
No Man's Sky...
while Beyond Good and Evil looks like it's going to have a pretty cool story... there haven't really been much so far at E3 for single-player story games.
Yeah.
And that's
a lot of what has been here has
me.
come from independent developers.
Yeah, true. So...
I mean, hell, like, the biggest surprise of E3 so far this year, I guess now, before Beyond Good and Evil, was A Way Out.
Yeah.
And, like, A Way Out is the total opposite of that, where it's forcing couch co-op.
Yeah, that's interesting,
Like, that's not even a single-player game, really.
Yeah, there isn't really much in terms of single-player stuff, and that's
the only people who could nail it. I mean, I think Crackdown will make a fairly good single-player experience, because I think it would be very odd of them to build on the base of Crackdown 1 and not make it a good single-player game. But the only people who now can really hit the single-player market fucking hard is Sony.
Yeah, and like all they... So, if for me, if they wanted to win me, if they wanted to make me say that Sony won, we disagreed on this, but from my point of view, if they just showed us the stuff we already know they're doing, then that's the single-player stuff that I'm interested in,
I especially now think if that happens, it'll fall flat.
Okay.
So I think now...
Well, I guess, yeah.
Fuck, I wonder... No, there's no way Beyond Good and Evil's at Sony's press conference.
Oh, I don't know, actually.
God.
I don't know. That's... I mean, I'm fairly...
That could happen.
It could happen.
I mean, equally, it might not. I'm getting excited. Stop. If Ubisoft hadn't revealed this, if their final reveal had been, like, Steep 2 or something like that, where it was a new IP that they were testing out rather than this big reveal, Sony could have had a strong conference and won E3, right? Sony could have come out and be like, yeah, God of War's this year, and then here's the Sucker Punch thing, and it's next year, there's Spider-Man, it's the year after, whatever. And it would have been fairly strong, and it would have been a fairly consistent conference. This has set the bar.
Yeah, no, I guess that's fair.
Really set the bar.
Yeah, no, I guess that's completely fair. Yeah, definitely. So, like, the thing you have to kind of... I think the thing with this is the good conference, maybe great ending. If you took the ending out, it's probably not quite as good, but, like, I still think this is probably better paced towards the second half than some of the other, like, most of the other stuff we've seen. You know, we got a lot of games. They all kind of look... Yeah.
They look of a very good quality.
Yeah.
So far, I would rate it like this: EA 4 out of 10, Microsoft 5 out of 10, Ubisoft absolute 7.
Without the last thing?
No, 7.
No.
7 out of 10.
But I mean, as in, like, if you took Beyond Good and Evil out, how would you do it? Is that a fair question?
Maybe 5 and a bit.
Okay.
I don't think it's like a 6 out of 10.
Like, when I was watching it, I thought, like, this is probably the best conference in terms of flow.
Yeah.
In terms of it, like, keep going. Because, I mean, you know, when you have and Just Dance and it's just like, it's over, okay, cool, next thing, that's works, you know. Like, in the past, Ubisoft have had, like, this 10-minute gap where they show everything about Just Dance.
Yeah.
And some, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. The low points were flowed over very quickly. Up until this point, the big reveals didn't really appeal to me. Like, the Crew 2 having other vehicles is great for Crew players, but it doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
The Pirates game is my least favourite part of any kind of pirate game or Assassin's Creed game, so it doesn't do much for me. The stuff that was here was consistent and strong, right? Like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but you can also point to everything and go, like, somebody's interested in this.
Yeah, I know, but, like, I can't judge an E3 conference on their interest. So, like, as my own rating, this is what I thought of it. But this was the moment I was looking for from E3. This was the, oh shit, something big is happening now. Something that people have wanted from gaming is happening. And Sony are probably the only people, and we're probably the only people coming into this that could destroy it.
Yeah.
I know what will destroy it for me.
Okay.
And I've mentioned it to you already, but I think actually we might be getting that.
Okay.
We won't talk about it until the conference. Well, because if I come out and be like Crash Bandicoot 4, 5, 6 and Crash Team Racing 2 and it doesn't turn out to be, I'm going to sound like a fucking idiot. So obviously I'm not going to say what I think is going to be on this stage. Okay. But, I'm excited.
Okay. I don't know, like, I think now with this, I think, like, it does frame Sony slightly differently.
Yeah.
Because Sony can't necessarily bring out something as massive already, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless we have Half-Life 3 or something, you know, like, you know what I mean, like, that's one of the things.
I mean, that's what they're going to have to do one year, right? like if they pull it out the bag again, eventually they're just going to have to be like, damn.
Because I mean, so, like, the point is that we've got, like, we're running out of games, I guess, that are on that forever back burner that people are constantly kind of interested in. Like, the Final Fantasy Remake thing has been a driving thing since the PS3 was launched. Like, that's been massive for a long time. There's a massive pull for that, you know. Beyond Good and Evil 2 has had a massive kind of, you know, on the back burners, but people are always going, like, is this the year it happens? Is this the year it happens? Is this the year it happens? Like, every single year.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think that that's all that's made Sony's conferences great. Like,
No,
I think there's some other stuff as well, but we will get into that come Sony's conference. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ubisoft conference. My goodness, well done. That was fantastic. That was really good. I'm much more positive on this year's E3 now as a result.
Okay.
A little bit more negative on Microsoft's as a result. But well done. Absolutely. And if Sony don't top you, we have a worthy winner.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the latest episode of Games Up Podcast. We still have 2 of these to go. Sony later on today. Oh, God, we're going to be so tired. And Nintendo following that tomorrow. We are going to be here for the rest of E3 doing these press conferences because we love to, and we'd love for you to join us. If you feel so inclined, you can subscribe to the show, whatever you're catching this on, whether it be YouTube or iTunes some point in the future. And if you do so, we put a regular podcast out every Monday at 6:30, and we'd love you to join us for those as well. They focus on gaming news, the business of gaming in the industry, and the topicality of that week. We also have a Facebook page and a Twitter. We are at Games Upcast on both of them. Come to it, like the Twitter, like the Facebook page, tweet the Twitter page. Sorry, got those mixed up. We share gaming news all the time, and we often talk about it ourselves. We're often on there chatting about sort of what it is about the news that interests us. So we'd love for you to join us. Thanks a bunch. We're gonna head off now and prepare ourselves for Sony. See you in a bit. The game's up.